So with few days to go for the ICA examination, there are some few things I want to share with you to position you to ensure that you pass the examination and most importantly, become successful. Now, it is important you understand that definitely the time that you're going to be given, which is a 3 hours standard time plus a 15 minutes reading time, it's not going to be enough for you to answer all the questions. What does that mean? It means that whether I like it or not, you are not going to be able to answer all the questions, all other things being equal. However, it is important you optimize your time in such a manner to enable you to answer as many questions as possible during the time provided to increase your chances of passing the examination. If that is the case, then there are a couple of things that you have to take into consideration. There are strategies and approaches that you have to adhere to ensure that you put yourself in the position not to just go into the exam hall, but answer as many questions as possible with the right answers to the questions and also increase your chances of passing the examination. So, what are these steps? What are these strategies that you have to put in place to ensure that you increase your chances of passing the examination? Number one is focus on key areas of the syllabus that you can get a lot of free marks from. What are these key areas? Depending on whatever subject you are writing, there are certain key areas that will come in the exam hall that will enable you to get some free marks at the end of the day. Let's say you're writing public sector accounting and finance. You know, question one in public sector accounting and finance is going to be on conceptual framework, measurement basis, accounting basis, accounting techniques, and some IPSAS issues in that case. So that 20-mark question is going to be purely on written aspect of the syllabus. What it means is that you just have to ensure that you understand these things very well. When we are talking about the measurement basis, we are talking about issues such as the historical cost, the fair value, the issue relating to net realizable value. These are the measurement bases. You have to know how these measurement bases are used for specific assets and how the entity decides to use them to ensure that the financial and operating objectivity and capacity of the asset is optimized or is achieved. Number two is the issue relating to accounting basis. The accounting basis are the accrual basis, the cash basis, the modified cash basis, modified accrual basis. Sometimes the examiner will ask you to write on these. Other time, he will give you a scenario and ask you which basis of accounting will be used to account for this, or under accrual basis, how do we account for it? Under the cash basis, how do we account for it? Or under the modified accrual basis, how do we account for it? So it is something that the examiner can ask you in that case. Then the third thing has to do with the issue relating to accounting techniques or the accounting approaches. The accounting techniques or accounting approaches include issues such as fund accounting, vote accounting or appropriation accounting, commitment accounting, environmental accounting, and those things. So these are the accounting techniques, accounting approaches. And that is an area also that you have to be mindful of. Then certainly some IPSAS issues that the examiner may be excited on to bring in the question one area. Then you go back to the qualitative characteristics of financial statements in that case. So that is a key area. And that is a question you can answer as fast as possible. So you need to focus on a key aspect of the syllabus. Then you come to question four, still in public sector, for instance. That is going to be public-private partnership as well as public procurement. You're going to take some easy marks there. Under public-private partnership, the types. Under public-private partnership, the principles. Under public-private partnership, we are talking about the limitations, the reasons, or the objectives of the public-private partnership policy. Public procurement, you're going to have a 10-mark question coming in there. So you need to understand the key areas that you can answer as fast as possible. The reason why you don't want to start with the question 2B and question 3, which is about the ratio or evaluation of financial statements as well as financial statement preparation, it's because these are going to require time. So if you feel, oh, I am a shark, I know this a lot, I can do this a lot, so you start with a financial statement preparation. Yes, you could do it though, but you end up failing the examination. So that is the idea about that. Identify which area of the syllabus can I get free marks that will be there in the exam hall ultimately. That is the starting point. Not only that, When you are writing, say, financial reporting, the same issue happens in financial reporting. There are easy marks areas that you can take. Definitely, there's going to be some theory questions that will come in financial reporting. So you have to optimize yourself on these theories, and that will include qualitative characteristics of financial statements, or the conceptual framework for general purpose financial statements. That is going to, there may be a question there, theories on consolidation. So when you go to consolidated financial statements, all the theories there, make sure you know them pretty well. The issue relating to standards, sometimes there could be some theories on standards that the examiner could throw there. Then ethics is not a done deal always in the financial reporting, but usually the examiner is going to be bringing some questions under ethics. So that is an easy mark area you want to answer. Focus on these as well in the exam hall. Number 2 is going to be ratios. Whether you like it or not, ratios are going to be easy areas that you can optimize yourself generally. At the end of the day, calculating the ratios, interpreting the ratios is going to be very crucial. Then you come to the standards. All right, then you come to the single entity financial statement, whether statement, income statement, or statement of financial position, and then cash flow statement. It's something that you need to understand in that particular case. These are the easy marks. Now, do not start with consolidated financial statement in the exam hall as a financial reporting student. Why? Because if you do that, you are hitting yourself in the foot. Now, you could do the consolidated financial statement, but the time that you're going to spend on the consolidated financial statement will be a lot, which will lead you to fail the examination. So what are the easy areas? Identify that. So for whatever subject that you are writing, there are easy areas that you can get and focus on these to optimize yourself or passing the examination. That is the first thing you need to understand to position yourself to pass the exams. The second thing is to understand the principles and practice a lot of questions. Listen, in the exam hall, you are doing one thing: application of principles. And anything that you are learning, you are going to be applying the principles. So if it comes to financial reporting, the standards, it's the principle you are applying. If you come to management accounting, budgeting, it's a principle that you are applying. If you come to the issue relating to other aspects of the syllabus, it is the principles that you are applying. So yes, solve a lot of questions if it is possible, but most importantly, make sure you understand the fundamental principles in each of the topics, because in the exam hall, the principles are what you're going to be applying. So even though I am advocating and I'm telling you that solve a lot of questions, ensure that you are going to understand the principles, because some people, the way they learn is that instead of understanding the principle, they will start solving questions from 1973 up to 2022. You will go and fail the exams, because it is not necessarily how many questions you solve, it's about understanding the principle. The reason is that each question you pick, it is the same principle being applied, but from different perspective. The same principle being applied, but from different perspective. So if you don't understand the principle, you don't understand the concept, it means that you're putting yourself in a position that will enable you not to pass the examination. So it is important you understand the principles and also practice a lot of questions. The third thing that I want you to take into consideration well is going to be your emotions, your mind, your feeling. I can summarize that up as your mindset in the exam hall or as you head into the exam. Why is this crucial? Because your emotion is going to be playing on you a lot, especially on the day of the exams, especially in the exam hall. Your emotions will be playing on you, and you have to learn to control that emotion. There are some of you, when the question paper is given to you, you're going to freak out because you are expecting something, but the examiner is going to throw you somewhere else. You are expecting the questions to be in a certain format, but the examiner is going to throw you somewhere else. So in the exam hall, you need to be able to control yourself. Anxiety will set in. Panicking may set in, but you need to control yourself, and nobody can do that to you. You are the one who is supposed to do that. That is why I always suggest that on the day, maybe the day leading to the exam and on the day of the exam, you want to ensure that you have a good mental state. You are in a blissful state. What does that mean? It means that you are not worried about anything. You are not thinking negatively about anything. Then on the day of the exams, make sure you have a good night's sleep. Make sure that you don't struggle with transportation, get into the exam hall, make sure that you are in a good posture, you get to the exam hall on time, relax, chill out, have a happy self, and go into the exam hall with that confidence, because you're going to need it. Many people fail the exams not because they don't know. Many people fail the exam not because they couldn't answer the question. They fail the exam because they freak out in the exam hall and they are not controlling their brain, their mind, their heart very well. I know this is going to be pretty difficult for a number of you, or for some of you, but it is important you understand this very well and take it into consideration. So you need to control yourself. You are the one in charge of your brain. You are the one in charge of your world. You are in charge of your mindset. You have to allow certain things to hurt you, and you have to allow certain things not to hurt you. And so you need to control yourself. So number one, you focus on key areas. Number two, ensure that you understand the principles and answer a lot of questions. Number three, ensure that you have a blissful mindset, be in a blissful state a day before the exams, and especially on the day of the exams, to enable you to remember everything at the end of the day. The fourth thing that I'm going to tell you is that you have to prepare yourself for the shock. What do I mean by that? There is going to be something in the exam hall which probably you know nothing about. That is a shock. There will be something in the exam hall that you don't know anything about. Or probably you were studying, but then you put aside and didn't go through it. So in the exam hall, you may feel brokenhearted. You may feel disappointed, because that is a question there for 20 marks or for 10 marks or for 5 marks, but you don't know it. Or you read it, but you didn't pay attention to it. Or you were not even taught generally. That is going to hit you. You may experience that, but you need to rise up and not beat yourself, not be disappointed in yourself, not say anything negative about yourself, but still continue to focus on the other 80 mark, 90 mark areas that you can work out and do what you can do in that particular case. And that is a mental state that you have to put yourself in the exam hall. So these are a couple of tips that I want you to take into consideration as you prepare and head into the examination, and have in your mind generally to enable you to pass the exams. If there is anything that I want you to do, it will be these 4 things. Know the key areas, practice questions and understand the principles. Make sure you have a blissful mind. And then number 4, you are going to be disappointed in the exam hall. Something is going to hit you that you don't like in the exam hall, but learn to have the right mental state. Learn to control yourself. Learn not to be disappointed in the exam hall, so that you can focus on the other areas of the questions that have been asked by the examiner to increase your chances of passing the examination. I wish you all the best in advance, and I hope to see you in the next level, or possibly at your graduation.